Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to To Be Determined. Today we're going to be talking about the visitor system that was added with the garden, tips and tricks on how to use it, as well as letting you know which visitors are special, as in they give special items or special abilities. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so the visitors spawn right here outside of your barn. You can have up to 5 of them spawn in. They spawn in 1 every 15 minutes if you're not farming, and if you are farming, the more blocks that you break, the faster they will spawn in. But the maximum amount you can have is 5. As you can see, I have the maximum amount here. And if you go up and talk to one of them, you can see how many times they visited you, how many times you've given them what they asked for, which is the offers accepted, as well as their rarity. And then if you go to accept offer, you can see what they're asking for, as well as the rewards they'll give you for completing their commission, which some of them have much nicer rewards. Like you can see, this guy gives 11,000 farming XP, 79 copper. That's not terrible, but if we go over here to the queen, you can see she gives 121,000 farming XP and 480 copper, but the items she requires are like 10 times more expensive, so you're not just going to be getting stuff for relatively cheap most of the time. But completing these milestones is actually the fastest way to level up your garden. If you just come in, pay off all your visitors, and then start going over to a sugarcane farm, that is going to be the fastest way to make that 15-minute timer between visitor spawns run down. See, normally there where it says next visitor, there will be a timer to show you how long until your next visitor will arrive, but since my queue is full, it says that the queue is full, so no more visitors can arrive. However, if you do have a full queue, but then you go and complete one of these guys' trades, for example, the lumberjack here, then that timer will catch up and you'll instantly get the next visitor. And this is the first time I've had Vex here, but he is one of our special NPCs that we're going to be talking about today, because you can see most of these guys just give farming XP, garden XP, and copper. As a matter of fact, all of these NPCs that I have here do, except for Vex here, who gives a dead bush as well. And he is not actually the only NPC that gives an extra item. There are actually a bunch of NPCs here. You can see all of them if you just scroll through your visitor's logbook. It doesn't tell you the extra item they give, but I'll tell you that in just a second. However, you can tell the requirement for an NPC. You just go to the green emerald block here and you can go to unlocked and see all the ones that you've already got the requirements for, or you can go to not unlocked and see the ones that you're missing. So I'm missing 5. The first one is the alchemist, which I'll unlock at garden level 10. So I'm garden level 9 right now, pretty close to 10, so I'll have that soon. But you can also see that I have a Ringo here, who I do have high enough garden level for, but I just haven't talked to him yet. So most of the NPCs that will show up as visitors on your garden, you will have to talk to them in game wherever you can find them. I know that Terry is bugged because I just talked to him a couple hours ago and it did not give me the requirements. I went back to the Jerry Island and talked to him like 5 different times and it never gave me the requirement. So that one might be bugged, but you can see there's some pretty cool NPCs here. Spaceman is the highest level NPC. If we go down to special rarity NPCs, he's the only special rarity NPC that you can get on your island. But let's go ahead and talk about the different NPCs that will give you special items, what item they will give you, and what level your garden has to be to talk to them. So first up is Zalx, which can be a difficult one. Your garden only has to be level 5, which really isn't too hard. That's only a couple hours of grinding, but you have to find him in the crystal hollows, so that can be a little difficult. He'll always be in the goblin holdout section of the crystal hollows, but he doesn't have a guaranteed spawn. So you can ask in the chat in the lobby that you're in if someone's found him, or maybe in your guild. But if you find this guy, make sure you tell somebody, because they'll probably be looking for him, and make sure you talk to him. But anyways, he will give you a mysterious crop, which I actually have. I got Zox a couple days ago, but it's this little mysterious crop which has no use. It's just kind of there, but you know, it's cool, I guess. Next up is actually this guy Vex. This is the first time I've gotten him, but he will give you, as you can see, a dead bush. All you have to do is have a garden level 1 and have talked to him, which if you have any trouble finding any of the NPCs in your visitor book, you go to not unlocked and you find an NPC, you don't know where they're at, like a Ringo or the alchemist, you can always look these guys up on the wiki. If you go to the hub, there's this guy right here, SkyBlock wiki, Biblio, whatever you want to call him. You just talk to him, click on the wiki command, and you can talk to him, or you can always just type /wiki and click there to visit the SkyBlock wiki. It'll take you to this page page, just type in the NPC you're looking for example, a Ringo, and you can see where they will spawn. He spawns at -470, -144, but since a Ringo only comes around during traveling zoos, I can't just go talk to him right now. So let's look up somebody else. How about the Alchemist? So the Alchemist spawns at 40, 70, -63 in the hub. So we're in the hub, so we go to 40, 70, -63. Here we are, the Alchemist. Just talk to them, and if your garden is high enough, then they should be added to your visitor list. All right, let's continue. Next up is Trevor. He is unlocked at garden level 1. Just have to talk to him, and if you complete his quest or commission, whatever you want to call it, he will give you 2 pelts. So that's a nice little bonus there. Next up is Tia the Fairy. You just have to have talked to her. Your garden has to be level 1, so really easy, and she will give you a fairy soul. So that 1 extra fairy soul that they added here in Find All Fairy Souls, that is from completing Tia the Fairy's quest. So that's pretty cool. Next up is the guy we talked about earlier, the Spaceman. Now, no one has unlocked this guy yet. You have to have a level 15 garden and serve 75 different visitors. But thanks to HS Fearless's interview with one of the admins, we know that he gives a space helmet, formerly known as Dr. Space Helmet. You'll still be able to tell if your space helmet is a Dr. Space Helmet if you're one of the few Chads that has one of these, because it will say the edition there, but none of the space helmets in the game say doctors any longer, as far as I'm aware, unless they're maybe in a chest hidden from the API, whatever. But all of the helmets that you get from the Spaceman are just going to be called space helmet without the doctors in front. Next up is Shaggy. You just have to have a level 1 garden and talk to him, and he gives an arachne fragment, so nothing crazy, but better than nothing, I guess. Then there's Seymour. You have to have a level 4 garden and have talked to this guy, but he will give you a randomly dyed piece of leather armor, which I do have one of these. It is the cashmere jacket, but that's not the only one that you can get. Big shout out to I Love Leopards for sending me this, but you can also get the velvet top hat, the Oxford shoes, and the satin trousers. Thank you, Leopard. As far as I'm aware, that set is not in museum or anything. It's just kind of for looks, I guess. I think it would be cool if they made it so you can use that as your tuxedo in the Romeo and Juliet quest, but I don't know if that's possible. We'll try it when we get there, but as far as I'm aware, it is not. Anyways, next up we have Rusty. You just have to have a level 1 garden for him, and he will give you an iron hoe, which is pretty useless to be fair, but you know, we take what we can get. All these other NPCs that I'm just kind of skipping over, it doesn't mean that they don't give good stuff, like Jerry or Madam Goldsworth. They have really high reward multipliers, which means they give a ton of rewards, but they also have really high desire multipliers, which means that they cost a lot more. So they are nice when they show up. I got 1,000 copper the last time that a legendary NPC showed up to my island, so they are really nice, but they don't give any special items. Anyways, back to the guys that do give special items. There is a Ringo who I haven't unlocked yet, but if you talk to a Ringo and finish his quest, according to the wiki, he gives you a pet cake, and I have heard this from a couple other people. I don't really know how that works, but he gives you a pet cake. I'll let you know when I get one. Then there is Odawa, who gives a jungle key. You only have to have a level 1 garden for her as well. Odawa is found in the crystal hollows as well. She is in the jungle section, so hopefully you'll have a chance to find her. Next up, there is the librarian. You have to have a level 5 garden to find her, or him. It's kind of hard to tell with villagers. Anyways, they'll give you a random enchanted book. I'm not sure what the highest level this book can be. Like if you can get a power 7 book from the librarian, that'd be pretty cool, but not really sure if that's a thing that happens. Then there's Jotraline Great Forge. Just need a level 1 garden for them. They'll give you a biofuel, which is pretty cool. Usually, Jotraline wants compost though, so after you complete Jotraline's quest once, it's really not going to be worth it to do it again. So granted, she'll give you a biofuel, but biofuel is basically enough fuel for 1.5 compost, and she usually, when she came over to me, she asked for 2 or 3 compost. So after you complete it once, it's good to do each visitor once, because as you do more unique visitors, your time in between visitor spawns will decrease. But as far as Jotraline goes, just do it once. After that, it's really not worth it. Next up, there is my man Jacob. Just need a level 1 garden for him too, and he'll give you an extra Jacob's ticket on top of whatever else he gives you, so that's pretty nice. Then there's the Hungry Hiker, who gives you an uncommon farming XP boost on top of the pumpkins that you give him. You only need level 1 for him, but as you can see, I have rejected him quite a few times. He's not really the best for material to XP ratio, and farming XP boosts. The uncommon ones are not that valuable. Next up, we got Gwendolyn, who you also need level 1 garden to unlock. She'll give you a free Crystal Hollows pass on top of whatever else you get from her, so another bonus. Then there's Jonathan Greatforge, who is basically just like Jotraline, where he gives biofuel for compost. Again, just kind of do it once and then don't do it again. Next up, there's the Fearmonger. You need a level 4 garden for him. He's got a unique animation whenever he leaves. He turns into a bat and then flies away. But he also gives a green candy on top of whatever else you get from him. So that's pretty nice. Next up is the big one, Dusk. So Dusk has a chance to give you a music rune. He'll always give you a rune, but there's a chance that it's a music rune. You unlock him at garden level 6. So this guy could honestly make you millions. I have gotten him once and he only gave me a zap rune, but with my RNG, hopefully I'll get a better drop soon. But yeah, he's pretty cool. I am going to go over a few more NPCs real quick. Mainly Beth. Beth, if you didn't see my video on how to get all of the garden items, is how you get the Jake's plushie. You have to complete her offers 3 times, then go to a specific spot on the Mushroom Desert, and then complete her 4th offer and go back to that spot and you'll get the plushie. But yeah, she's pretty cool. Now, most of these guys will ask for any regular crop. Some of them have specific crops that they'll only ask for that crop, but a few of them have some pretty weird requests. So first up, there's Terry, who will ask for melons, but he'll also ask for milk bucket. So that's kind of a unique one, but yeah, pretty simple. Then there is the Royal Resident. There's actually 3 different Royal Residents, but the rare one is the one that will request only enchanted sugar or wheat. Now, this guy is a pain to get through. I've been working on him in my free time. Basically, you just sit AFK in his room for most of his challenge. But yeah, he's a pain. I recommend if you run out of a god potion and you're about to log off anyways, just go over and start on his quest so you're not losing out on god potion time. And you might as well go ahead and buy a bunch of cookies while you're at it, if they're not too expensive right now at the time you're watching this, so that while you're AFK in his room, you'll be generating bits still. Next up, there's Rise, who requests for jack-o'-lanterns. So the last time he was here, he requested like 1,000 jack-o'-lanterns for me, so, or I think it was 512 actually. But yeah, jack-o'-lanterns, pretty simple. Just go to the builder, buy 8 stacks of torches, and then craft 8 stacks of pumpkins plus the torches and a jack-o'-lanterns. Nothing too crazy. And then, like we said earlier, Jotraline and Geo Nathan both want compost. They are the only NPCs that will request compost. So after you complete them once, again, just don't do their quests again. They're just not worth it. All right, guys, that's all on the visitor system. So I hope you did enjoy. And if you did learn something, remember to leave a like and sub if you haven't already. Let me know if I missed anything. I know there's a couple NPCs that I haven't talked to that may give some things, but hopefully I covered the big ones. Anyways, I'll catch you on the next one. God bless.